Hello and welcome to this very special Hangout on Air from Suntico for companies that use QuickBooks accounting software. In fact, this is a very special Hangout on Air because it's the first ever Hangout on Air specifically for companies using QuickBooks. And today we're talking about scaling new heights for your business with the Suntico online account management solution for QuickBooks. My name's Hugh Johnson. I'm Head of Business Development at Suntico. And if you'd like to get in touch with me after this Hangout on Air, you can, of course, do so via the normal social channels or by email at hugh.johnson@suntico.com. And today, we're taking a preview look at Suntico for QuickBooks. And I'll be discussing a few things. I will be discussing why are we doing this? Why does Suntico exist? And why are we targeting companies like yours? I will explain the concept. We'll have a short demonstration. And then finally, I will let you know how you can follow us so that you can become one of the first people to know about Suntico being available for QuickBooks accounting software. And when I'm talking about QuickBooks accounting software, I'm talking about the desktop version, QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Enterprise. But first, let's talk about why. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing what we're doing? And it's all about productivity. And it's all about helping to drive up the productivity of small to medium-sized businesses employing 10 to 100 people. And that's what Suntico does. Because in the past, this segment of companies employing 10 to 100 people, have been underserved by the technology industry. And in fact, they've been so underserved that their productivity has suffered. And if you plot, just like I've done here, productivity against company size, what you get is this kind of bathtub effect, where right at the bottom of the bathtub, figuratively where the water runs out, a company is employing 10 to 100 people. Smaller companies are more productive and larger companies are more productive. So if you can just imagine for a second, if you could raise the productivity of your 10 to 100 employee business just to match the average of those purple companies there, what would that mean to your business? Well, on average, it would mean adding $1 million a year to your revenue line without adding a single dollar to payroll cost. Now that sounds good, doesn't it? Now, there have been numerous studies about productivity in businesses and productivity in small to medium-sized businesses. And there's one theme that comes out all the time. And that's the inability for people to find the information that they need to do their job effectively. And this tends to be really bad in those small to medium-sized businesses employing 10 to 100 people. And the reason is simple. The most valuable data in a typical business like this is disconnected, or very often disconnected, from the people that need it. And if you think about value within your business, the most valuable transactions and the most valuable activities in your business tend to start or end in your accounting software, in your QuickBooks accounting software. And yet the people performing these activities very often do not have access to the accounting software and do not have access to the data that would be very valuable to support them in pursuing their tasks. And what Suntico does, the Suntico online account management solution for QuickBooks, what it does is it bridges that gap between the data in your QuickBooks system and the people that need it to pursue those most valuable activities in the business. And conceptually, it looks something like this. So in the background, what you have is your QuickBooks accounting software that may be inaccessible by your frontline staff or your field sales reps or other people within the business outside the finance department, but would still find this information useful to do their job. And the data from QuickBooks is synchronized with a cloud database around which we deliver a collaborative platform to enable the rest of the business to work together, share information about tasks, create tasks for each other to do, and get the work done more effectively with good access to the information that's needed. And that's the concept, and it's a very simple concept. There's a piece of software called a connector software from Suntico that is downloaded and sits alongside your QuickBooks database and synchronizes that database with our cloud database. Then over the top of that, we have a kind of Facebook style interface and layer, which makes it very easy for people to find and access and share information across the business. So without further ado, let's take a quick look at what I'm talking about. What I have here is a web browser, and I'm logged on to a demo account for Suntico. In the background, this web-based application, this cloud-based application, is synchronizing data with my desktop accounting software. It's pulling that data up into the cloud, where it can be shared and viewed by people across the business through any web-enabled device. So what we have is we've got the data and the information split out in a number of different ways. We've got this section called My Business, which introduces all the accounts that the company is dealing with, sales accounts, as in customers, vendors, prospects. All that information is pulled up and synchronized within the system. So we have all the accounts coming up from the accounting software. I can create prospect accounts here, and so I've got all my trading and prospective trading partners all in one place, but subject to my user security privileges. Also split out contacts if I want to do kind of basic contact management. I've got the transactions that I have, so all my sales transactions, sales invoices, sales orders, the status of them, and so on. And what we also have is we have the concept, rather like Facebook, of my wall. And in fact, every record within the, or every entity within the system, whether we're talking about other users or customers or transactions, every entity on the system has this idea of a wall. So just like on Facebook, if you want to maybe follow a friend of yours, you can do that on Facebook. You can do the same here within Suntico. You can follow any record within the system. So you can follow a colleague, or you can follow a customer, or you can follow an invoice, or a task, or a sales order, or a purchase order. It depends what your function within the business is and what's important to you. So you can choose what you follow, and any update to anything that you're following will then just appear on your wall, just like it does in Facebook in terms of any updates to your friends appear on your Facebook timeline. It's pretty much exactly the same. Also, I have, rather like Twitter, I have kind of trending items and hashtags. So I can hashtag, I can hashtag any messages, and I've got a hashtag there called Flower Power. And rather than randomly create new additional kind of random hashtags, it suggests ones that have already been used. And my misspelling, which is rather nice of it, and I can just share that with all my followers. Okay. Now that's a rather trivial task. Sorry, rather trivial example. But if I wanted to pull up information that relates to a particular hashtag, I can just do that, and I can pull up all the postings and all the records that relate to that. And that's my wall. Now, if we drill down into any of the entities, let's just take an example of sales invoices. Okay. What you'll notice on, and this would be true for any record type within the system, whether we're talking about customers, vendors, invoices, orders, or whatever. We've got these first 3 columns within the system. The first is a bookmark, and that's just personal bookmarks to me. And what it means is I've bookmarked these items, which means when I call up this list of sales invoices, they automatically appear at the top, which of course is really nice if I'm working on a small screen, maybe a tablet or a mobile device, and I want to quickly grab and access data that is really relevant to me. Again, within the same screen, I can choose to follow and unfollow different records. So I can just click on the records within the system, whether it's an invoice, a contact, a vendor, a customer, an order. I can choose what records I want to follow, and therefore what updates I want to appear within my wall. So it's a kind of, instead of me having to go looking for the information can come looking for me because I've chosen to follow those records. And if I want to go and view the wall of a particular record, all I need to do is just click on this wall here, and I can drill down and see any comments or discussions that relate to that record. So not only have we presented the information that has come up from my small business accounting software, we've also grouped it in a simple way, so I can drill down, say for example, for sales accounts, and I can pick. So I'm going to reset that. I had some filters set, so I can actually create filtered lists and save them. And if I drill down to a particular customer record, then I can drill down, I can see all the various contacts. If there are sub-accounts linked to this account, that's great. I can see quotations, orders, invoices, or any tasks that I have or events that I have set up within the system that relate to this customer record. So it's just a very quick way of finding information within the system. So, and I mentioned tasks and events. And again, it's what we've added is this kind of social collaborative layer, and you can create tasks and you can link any task. You can create generic task types, and you can link any task to any record within the system. So you can have a task related to a customer or related to an invoice or related to another user, and you can assign tasks to other people and so on. So what I've done is I've just given you a quick flavor of what Suntico is for QuickBooks, and it will look something like this. And needless to say, and I'm not going to go into the details on this Hangout on air today, but needless to say, it's a multi-user system, and you can control very tightly who has access to what data down to individual account records. So you can say this sales rep can see this set of customers, but no other customers, for example, and what they can do, what those users can do within the system. So if I go back to my presentation, we've had a brief demonstration of the system just to give you a flavor of what the system does. And really what it's all about is what I would call ad hoc automation, which is providing the kind of relatively free and easy automation across the business that's often needed in a small to medium-sized business, but still keeping all the data together so you can find it easily and get your jobs done quickly. Now, as I hinted at the beginning of the presentation, Suntico is not quite yet available for QuickBooks, but will be soon. So if you want to have a play with the system yourself, test it out, if you go to our website, suntico.com, and just click on the button there that says try our demo and enter your details, not only will you be granted with access to the system so you can test it out yourself, but you will also be notified of any updates and any information. So you'll be one of the first people to know that Suntico has become available for QuickBooks, and we can set you up for a trial for Suntico